Goliath's a pretty simple story. The vision really was to possibly locate, discover the next Tier 1 high-grade gold deposit in the Golden Triangle. Within a very short period of time, we've clearly demonstrated that we've tagged into, again, a brand new high-grade gold system, never been drilled before until we came along. Underlying factor, the fact that it was sitting under a glacier and permanent snowpack for many, many years until we came along, or certainly most 3 to 5 years, this discovery would have been made possible. Forward-looking statements. Quickly, by my background, investment banker out of Toronto for 30 plus years. Prior to that, doing mergers, acquisitions with family-owned enterprises. I worked with my team, my board members for 20, 30 plus years. The new addition to the stable is Dr. Quentin Henning, who's also technical advisor to Crescat Capital, who's one of our largest shareholders. Introduced Chen to the story. He's been invaluable to the entire team. We can skip this one here. There'll be lots of talk about that over the session. The area really is exciting. It's over 1.8 square kilometers of these stacked shear zones or veins, sort of like a layer cake. To put that size into perspective, we did the math the other day. It's about the third the size of the core of downtown Vancouver. We just completed over 30,000 meters of drilling in 2024. Of those holes, 92% of those had visible gold and or abundant visible gold. In 2023, we had about a 34,000 meter drill program, and I think we were shooting around 30 to 34% visible gold, which is pretty amazing. We have done some early met work. We're getting a 92.2% recovery of the gold at a 327 micron crush, so it's fairly coarse grain material, of which we're getting close to 50% of that gold, free gold from the gravity alone. So no cyanide required, no deleterious material. Essentially, the gold is falling out of the host rock. Again, world-class discovery. I've been able to raise over $60 million in the last 3.5 years for the project at high prices. The last set of financings I did in 2024, there was no warrant attached, and we've been able to keep the dilution to minimal. Currently, we're actually market cap now, based on our news earlier this week. I think we're close to the $200 million Canadian market cap. We're situated in a mining-friendly camp of the Golden Triangle. We have infrastructure, roads, power. We have the town of Kitsault close by, which was originally built by Phelps Dodge back in the late 70s, 80s for the moly mine. It actually housed up to 1,000 people at the peak. You can actually drive here from the town of Terrace, about 3.5 hours. And again, I do believe we have this Tier 1 potential to be the next large high-grade gold system in the Golden Triangle. Share cap, just over 137 million issued outstanding. Volume, we've got great volume. We traded over 85 million shares the last 52 weeks with a VWAP, I think it was around $1.04. We hit a recent high because of the news this week, but I think it was $1.48. Board management team, about 19% of the company. Again, Crescat Capital, around 14%. We also have Eric Sprott, Rob McEwen, Larry Childress, and recently a group out of Singapore, Global Commodity Group, has taken about a 5.2% position. I think they've been buying stock on the market, so they could even be closer to 6%. Research, Red Cloud, Zacks, and watch list with Beacon. We can pass this here. Here's just some analytics of where Great Bear we're trading at, and Newfound based on the timeline. We've really only spent literally less than a year and a half on this project. We have a limited drilling season from, let's call it June. We have to be out in by October type of thing, because we get quite a bit of snow here. So within a very short period, it's pretty exciting what's been developing here. Southern tip of the Golden Triangle. Again, the nice thing there is we're very close to infrastructure. We sit on tidewater, barge access on either side of the project. It can take you to Kitsault, where the old mine is still there. Well, permitted, the mill's gone, but it sits on private property. So mining scenario, potentially, crush material on site and ship it to Kitsault, or 180 kilometers down to Prince Rupert, where you've got rail right across Canada, or a deep sea port. Again, we've got this red line. That's not a road. That's actually the contact with this Tahina and Hazelton group of rocks, which it's important because the majority of the big deposits in the triangle have been found within sort of 3 kilometers either side of this red line of contact. We control 56 kilometers of that. Here's a quick snapshot of the town of Kitsault. You can see sort of a modern-ish type apartment buildings. some of the core chats, and we can skip that. We talked about the zones, the size, metallurgy. Again, we've got about 89 holes, assays pending right now from 105 holes from last year. One of the exciting things, the fact, is we found visible gold in the intrusive rock that's kind of coming up through our stacked layer cake here. They're more vertical. So we went and re-logged 17 holes of this reduced intrusive type of mineralization. So like if you know Snowline, it's a similar looking type of rock, which could add quite a bit of tonnage to a maiden resource. Here's sort of the footprint of this 1.8 square kilometer area, and various iterations of the mapping. We've hired Archer Cathar SRK, a bunch of smart people to help us fast track this discovery. With every drill program, we get more data and more laser focus targeted to the high grade zones, possibly the mothership, which is, we believe to be a reduced intrusive type of a feeder. Here's sort of these, the 10 veins that we've got, this layer cake type of structure. So when we're drilling from the top of the mountain, we can hit multiple veins on the way down. So we're able to get multiple pierce points per hole. Here's sort of a closer look at everything above the purple is up in the sedimentary group. The purple itself is the contact between the seds and volcanics below. So if you quickly do the math on what's up on the seds, averaging sort of 5 to 6 meters or potentially 28 to 35 million tons of material. And that goes for, as well, the purple, which is the bonanza, where we're getting this high-grade zone where, again, where we think that mothership is hiding. Here's sort of a plan view of the holes we've drilled. Sort of you can see the sherbet kind of down dipping here. That purple pink circle there is where a lot of these veins are converging, where we're getting this over 1 ounce material. In the bonanza, we're calling it the bonanza high-grade zone, more of a polygon type shape. It's sort of by kilometer. Again, if you do the math at a 5 to 6 meters on average width, you're looking at 28 to potentially 35 million tons of material. Hole 260 that we did announce on Monday was 39 meters, just over an ounce. Within that, we had, call it 10 meters, about 4 ounce material. So, any miner looking at this, they're going to go and drill this entire panel based on, what they do at Kirkland Lake and Red Lake, et cetera. Here's sort of a visual of it. It was the highest amount of visible gold drilled to date. And there's some of these other holes here. Quickly, I'll just pop over to this one. What's interesting is the valley floor is essentially 200 meters below that the bonanza shear. So that the entire system, for the most part, is sitting above you. So in a drilling or a mining type scenario, you would go in with an adit or adits and work at it that way. And we're thinking that bonanza could be sort of the high grade pod that pays for the capex coming out of the gate in a mining scenario. And then brand new this year, with the first time we drilled about 480 meters below the valley floor into the volcanics. We formed 4 brand new lenses we didn't know about. A number of them had visible gold as well. Assays are pending. So we also found some interesting stuff here. Jackpot, we put in, I guess, a half a dozen holes. We got over an ounce material from channel grabs. Again, assays pending. Here's a chunk of the VG from surface from one of the veins over there. Here's this reduced intrusive type of looking material. It may look familiar to some of the folks that are familiar with, again, the Snowline gold. These little quartz veinlets, we're seeing visible gold, bismuth, and moly. And you can see these the dikes sort of running north-south on here. And then just quickly, we've got a fairly large land package. It's over 90,000 hectares. We've got a big chunk up in the Canberra ice field, where we actually drilled a brand new discovery. We call it Treasure Island. It's completely surrounded by the glacier. Never been drilled before, never been sampled before until we came along. 2023, every sample we took ran at least 1 gram per ton gold equivalent and or 1% copper. The best channel cut was a 0.85 meter. That ran 28 grams gold equivalent, and actually that one had about 5% copper in it as well. So 12 holes coming out of here. We did hit, on average, best hole from each pad, around 30 meters of mineralization. Within that, about 7 meters of this high-grade, massive to semi-massive looking material on your left. The picture image on the right is that 28 gram per ton gold equivalent sample we took from surface. So we're really excited to obviously get those samples out, and we could possibly have another material discovery for our shareholders. And with that, I think my time is done. Thank you.